Okay. Yeah, I'll just share a Nakuda that came to mind last night, or I would say early this morning, the Fabrengen of Yudalit Kislev. It's one big hemshech. We know that the Rebbe was the first chasana where a tshuda was given out. Today, it's normal. People give out tshudas. It was unheard of a thing. There's why a chasana has a tshuda. It's like unheard of. And the first chasana that tshuda was given out from the chasana was the Rebbe's chasana in Varsha. A lot of people know that a tshuda was given out and that it was a ksav yad of the Alter Rebbe in the tshuda. And the Frierdiker Rebbe said that it's a schus to have anyone that holds on to a ksav yad of the Alter Rebbe is brachas and Yeshuas. But a lot of people never took the time to actually read the ksav yad of the Alter Rebbe. What is the ksav yad itself that the story of the Ksav Yad, not the fact that the Ksav Yad was given out, but what was the Alter Rebbe writing, to who was the Alter Rebbe writing, and what's the story behind it? That was also given out in the Tshuda, but for some reason, that got a lot less attention from people. And recently I was learning it. You think to yourself, like the Rebbe, Frierdiker Rebbe is giving this out by the Chasana, so there's obviously a big hayrah for Chasana, and for us, the Rashvi. And basically, there's a story that the Alter Rebbe was writing to the famous Chassid, Reb Moshe Meislich, the one that he's the one that Napoleon put his hand on his heart. Moich Shalat Alalev. This is a Greise Chassid. And he lived in the city of Vilna. And in Vilna, the Chassidim were going through certain redifos. People were never been reidif to Chassidim. And there became a machloikis between the young Chassidim and the older Chassidim. The young Chassidim said, "I've never by the hand to give and catch. That's it. At Khan. The Bachar are not gonna, the Rebbe's covered is at stake. We're not gonna sit there and take this lightly." And the older Chassidim, mainly the one of the leaders was the famous Chassid of Meir Falls. He's the one that became a chassid with the two stories of the Alter Rebbe, the Aguna that came to his house, and the two ministers, the two people that had a court case, and the Alter Rebbe told them to go to a city, and they met the minister in the garden, and that's how he became a chassid. He was part of the Parnosei Ha'ir. He was like on the Vad of the Jewish community, even though he was a chassid. He was very wealthy, very influential. And he was asking for restraint. That was his opinion, that people... And at a certain point, this chassid, Moshe Meislich, he got up and he told the Meir Falls that basically you're old, and you basically, it's not coming from Seichel, it's coming because you don't just want to make controversy, you can't stand any controversy, you don't want to deal with it. But we have to be more aggressive. And he was a little bit mezalzel in him. That was the story. And the Alter Rebbe's Ksav Yad is writing to this chassid before Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur. And the Alter Rebbe is writing that I actually agree with you in Shita that the younger Chassidim were correct. That, demand a certain starkheit. It was getting too much. You can't just let it slide. But nevertheless, you have to apologize. Because the way you said it publicly against, just because you were right, you still have to apologize for the scene that you made and the cover of Meir Falls. And he's begging him to put him covered on the side and apologize, even though he was right. That's the letter. So Bechlala was a big oirah for Shalom Bayis. It's not about being right. If you're talking about from the Rebbe's Chasna, you could be right and still have to apologize. It's a grossy yisoid Bechlal. But I was thinking about it, Stam, in our own avoid, a lot of times we get caught up in being right, and we're not going to bring Mashiach just by being right. We could be energetic, and we have the right idea, the right shita, but the way you do it, the oifen hameskabil is so vital. Just because you're right, the oides the toyo bekelim the tikkun basically is Samuzain, just a thought from the Rebbe's Tshuda.
So how do we advance a Mashiach narrative, a Mashiach excitement, a Mashiach? How does Lubavitch, run ahead of the pack and drive this Assidus that's there? It's such a powerful Assidus. And what Yidden are open to today is like a million times more than what they were open to just a few months ago, just 2 months ago. In terms of people being margish and feeling that das is das. And that's a greatness of the Geula.
Whatever happened with the idea, I spaced, wasn't involved so much. The email came out hiring a younger man and asked for funding who would pay. Did anything ever happen with that, Remendel?
Yeah. Yes, we did. I don't know where it went though.
I'm saying, how many commitments did we get?
A lot. Anybody remember? Aruva, and you remember how many? Like 70,000 maybe?
For Afton, I think they hired somebody.
Yeah, we did.
Is that
Pekarsky.
Levy and Pekarsky are under this, Mendy?
Pekarsky? Yeah.
Pekarsky and Teitelbaum? They're under this, Mendy?
It fizzled and
No, 1 second, just to clarify a second, Rafton. No. Levy and Pekarsky are under this. Pekarsky is the one who they hired, nothing to do with their previous projects. The fact that they had previous project is the reason that he was the right candidate for potentially the job. The Pile, one of the Iker things that he did was arrange these larger shiurim, which I think are still going on in theory.
Chidon.
What do you say?
Chidon Gul Mashiach?
No. Nothing to do.
Our weekly, our monthly,
once a month.
These Fabrengens we've had bigger speakers, meaning more of a Fabrengen, meaning more of a
organized
catch. More of an organized Fabrengen than just allowing.
I don't know if you saw it, Afton. Once a month, there's like a special speaker, Kilu, who's coming.
That was beef also once officially.
Exactly. So that exact thing is part of what Pekarsky put together. Again, it seems like it fizzled out. I don't know where it's holding exactly.
Because no one asked me. I said I would pay.
No, nothing to do.
Daarbij af te veel schicken geld, want de schenk hebben een adres.
Yeah. I'm happy to give money. I'm saying.
No, but we didn't get to the point. Something fell through before we got to the point we collected the money.
Because I think
it was right before that point.
I think a lot of the issue is that everyone could come up with ideas. We meet weekly. Then you're like, okay, so someone has to be the hands and feet to bring it down. And everyone here has ideas. But everyone goes back to their shlichus, aproti, and everyone's ready to. We need someone. That's what I'm asking. Like, is this guy getting paid still? Is he not getting paid?
I actually don't know if he ever got paid. I think we helped him out with his chidon, right at the time, at the beginning, when we were just talking about him, just connecting with him.
And so what could be done? What could be done about that? I think if we can walk out even.
I think Afton, the Shaila is more now that the Mendy and Reuven and everyone else had a little bit of a work relationship with him already. Does it seem like he's the right person for it? And Mela, your question would be, how do we make it continue? Or maybe we learn from that he's not the right person for it.
Oh, I thought that was established. I don't even really know him. I know who he is, but how did you feel about the working relationship?
It could be there was a missing part. So, for example, we get together once a week, right, on this Zoom meeting. And this is really the real place that we get together to make things happen. But he didn't get on that. He didn't feel like that wasn't his desire. He wanted someone to give him a recap of what happened in the talk and then take it from there. So we needed an extra person as a connection. It wasn't a full circle. And I think that's where it fell apart.
I don't think, Mendy, it was a technicality that you don't want to get on. You wanted someone to give a recap. You need someone to do that. You send the recording out every week. You can listen to it on double speed and, hear for 15 minutes. That wasn't the problem. I think it's more that his being on could allow him to give the input. and to make the things happen. If it's just hearing a little chazar, it's like what's made us, you know what I mean?
By the way,
I
you're
think
right. You happen to be correct, but that was definitely a problem. He did not, for whatever reason, he said that's not his thing to get on.
Whatever
no,
it is.
no. I'm asking him that's not his that he said that, but I'm saying it's not that he didn't get on and therefore we couldn't find a person to give him the recap. I don't think. I think his not getting on is a deeper problem.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And what about Levi Teitelbaum?
Did they work together, the two of them?
So he brought Levi Teitelbaum to a little bit as a sidekick, but Levi never was like made the main guy over here. Maybe Levi, because he has maybe pressure of Parnassa, might be more because he's actually Rechaim al Tzavara already.
Correct.
That always helps out. The Eibishter had a way. The Eibishter had a good way how to get things done in this world. First, if he would have left everybody.
Absolutely.
Chabashayla. Here's my question. We're seeing this is back. This is not my Sabapayil. I'm sorry, I'm going back into the world of ideas. But if I'm having a hard time, Mitzad Echod, there's a Dover Pella that we're watching. The dafke between the Pada B'Shalom Nafshi from the Mittler Rebbe and the Pada B'Shalom Nafshi from the Alter Rebbe. This is the week that we're watching day by day. Ba'olam hazeh Agashmi Padiyah happening. That Yidden that were B'Shivya yesterday are coming out. Minyanim, the Stam Nechne given Yud Aleph, because it was the Rebbe's day, was Dafke Yud Aleph, and the few days were 13 Yud Gimel Seder, whatever the explanations are, but unbelievable. But it was Mamish, a Pada, aber es felt in the B'Shalom. In other words, the price of it and the cost of it is bothering me, because it's Mamish becoming down Mamash's stake. Now, obviously, it could be that special and we just don't see the whole end of it. But the fact, obviously, is it has a very bittersweet taste because they're letting out hostages. They made a ceasefire, allowing them to regroup. So, of Mitzvah Sheni, it's happening in a time that is Mamish Pada B'Shalom. I mean, Mamish in the time of Padiyah. So it's in season. It seems like it's missing the whole oomph. I'm just wondering if anybody has any thoughts regarding that.
Again, it's hard to know the people ask, you think about the ceasefire, this. It's hard to know the military calculations, like as
I know. I said it lechatchila. I mean, you can't even be a das on this because you really don't know. You don't know what's like the Rebbe when he spoke about things, he had all the information.
But we do know. We know the most important parts, that there's still people being held hostage.
Yes.
And they're still the bad guys. The Hamas is still way too strong. So that's what else do you need to know?
No. The question is was this approach right?
Yeah.
Is this approach right? It's hard. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. So. But I'll be honest.
But I'm talking about the idea of Pada B'Shalom Nafshi. I'm like, I want to like, there's so much that I would like to put out there and speak about in the Pada B'Shalom of it. That there's something that's not working with it. That's upsetting. In other words, you can make a Palgin in Dibure, half of it is
No, what you're saying is basically maybe if they would have gone stronger, they would have had a real Padiyah B'Shalom. This was this man for Padiyah B'Maila.
I don't know.
We don't cry about the past. They could still do it.
Listen, for those families,
is lifted.
Yeah. There's no question.
Just an observation. Both Chag Geulas of Yud and Yotes, both of them weren't. It wasn't like a one-time thing. Like they went out of prison. Both of them had something to do with it that also like messed with it. Like the next year was Tes, so that was a whole thing. And also Yud Tes Kislev, like it took the pilot Yud Tes Chaf because the whole thing with the Misnagid, like there's all like in both Padav Shalom there was a little bit of thing in, and then it became B'Shalom. I don't know if
Until Rubashkin. But Rubashkin again, the government.
So Gershi, you said we have a lot of questions, we have a lot of ideas, but we have to
I'm
get
just
to
saying,
implement
who's the
it. I
one
don't
that
hear.
interacted? I think just for the last, I think that it would be very good to reach out to see who was the one that was reached out for the money and just what the budget is and what we want from this younger man. Because the Ruben is saying it's man fully sober, so fine. So we have ideas. So who's gonna?
I don't hear ideas. What ideas do we have?
I'm saying all the weeks there's putting together shiurim, putting together a world Mashiach day, a world awareness. I mean, there's endless of things that were spoken about. I think last week Rabbi Binyaminson spoke about getting others, like maybe reaching out to some people, making them a general Mashiach symposium. I mean, these are all things that can happen if someone as a designated person is doing it. And like you said, we're not looking for a volunteer. And if there's 70 people, I don't know what each person committed to. What was it a month you asked for?
It was to try to get 770 over the year. So it was like 70 for 10 months or something.
70 for 12 months.
12 months, I mean, yeah.
And you had 70 people that were masking to do that?
I know we had a big list.
It's close to that.
Just keeping the cheshbon of 70 times 70, just an idea. It's $5,000 a month. I mean, a younger man is not going to be looking for more than I can't imagine for a job like this. More than $1,800 a month. It's not a full-time gig.
So the idea was that it should be full-time, especially Zusha was saying that we don't want someone part-time. It's got to be 100%.
Okay.
I don't know enough about what happened with Pekarsky, but I also think
so
it wasn't 100%.
Okay, so then
I think part of it was also not a little bit this because it all took place while he was running a camp and very, very immersed. So when he started kind of working, so the setting was not at all for him to be able to immerse himself into the whole thing. First, he was finishing up the Chidon. Then he was finished the Chidon. He was in camp. Remember, we couldn't even have him on the phone because every time he was on the phone, he was breaking up. He was in the forest somewhere.
Right.
It just was not the thing was not drawn in like
the practical connectors.
I was learning that Ebbe's father's letter about Yud Tes Kislev and how he emphasizes the whole thing is that the Shnei Oides has to come down Lizman. In other words, it has to settle into a Zen. This whole thing was never matched into Zman. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just saying. So maybe the achlata can be either to reach out to him, but if not him, maybe Levi Teitelbaum. We'll make a budget. It'll be full time for a younger man, full time. Well, you see what it would take, and then he would have to be on the weekly thing, follow up with a point man or two, and give updates each week. What was done.
America's 302 Mashiach office.
Let's just revisit a minute what we did last week. We decided we were going to make a Kol Qaeda. A label. I think Label wrote something, and if he did, I chatasi that I didn't read it. But was that shared? Did we get something? Did we?
I didn't see. Look for the Achos.
Yeah.
By the way, regards from the
if
oil.
If we're saying this pada, but it's fell from the shalom, then maybe that's the avodah that needs to be a little strengthened. That there should be the b'shalom also.
Yeah, I mean that's a very good point, Reb Ruvain. you could maybe it's part of the message. Everyone is happy with the Padiyah, but Daigid Vegan the Shalom, if we're Moisef and Shalom by ourselves, that could bring Shalom to the Padiyah B'Shalom. Hagufa could be a very strong message.
Did anyone talk about the Argentinian president visiting for Yudal Kislev?
It's gewaldig. It's unbelievable.
By the way, I turned on
And Isaac,
We
we
don't
can't
have-
really hear you.
It's frozen.
Reuven, can we look at this for a second? Is this what you're
Yeah.
talking about for immediate release?
Oh, could be. I didn't. We can read it together.
read
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, he
quickly.
posted it on the group, and it's a very nice Kol Koide.
Well,
It
here we
says,
are.
New
But
effort
it's-
builds on
it's-
Kinnis Achtos. The recent Kinnis Shashluchim emphasized the surge of unprecedented unity among Klal Yisrael. Over the weekend, hundreds of Shluchim and their Balabatim shared experiences, ideas, and suggestions for moving forward in a spirit of Chassidish Ahavas Yisrael. Elder members of Anash came together to give the Rabbanachas by putting aside personal and professional disagreements. It had been truly inspiring. Now it's time to build upon these positive steps and amplify the movement. The Minatzchim are trying to get help.
Trying to help.
The Minatzchim are a non-political, non-partisan group devoted to hastening the Geula HaMitzvah Shlema. Since 5782, it has organized several events, including most recently a petition calling for one united kinnis. Over 600 shluchim from all over the world expressed their desire for achdus. As a follow, it doesn't say what Minatzchim are, it just says we're non-political, non-partisan, maybe a group of shluchim, it should say. As a follow-up effort, the Minatzchim has developed a worldwide declaration of intent. The goal is to encourage shluchim to join forces in eliminating any spiritual obstacles that remain to achieving the Geula Shlema. The declaration states, over the next 12 months, we will focus on the Iker Shlichus of doing whatever it takes to bring the Geula B'Poel Mamish. Furthermore, we intend to conduct activities Belev Shalom and Bedarke Shalom in keeping with the pasuk Barcheinu Avinu Kol Echad. It is hoped that this declaration will enable the wellsprings of Chassidus to continue spreading with greater force and therefore success. To sign the declaration, visit blank or click on the link. And then it says, yeah.
I mean, I think that it's beautiful, but that's the focus should be shorter and focus just on the
Should be on the
achdus.
Achdus. The focus seems to be on the Geula B'Poel Mamish, which is obviously a coming from the Achdus, but the emphasis over here has to be a call for Achdus.
Yeah.
And then it says, we declare over the next 12 months, we will focus on the Iker Shlichus, doing whatever it takes to bring the Geula B'Poel Mamish right. Furthermore, we intend to conduct activities with signed. So, okay. I mean, look, he put it together. Now we could just touch it up.
Yeah.
The work's been done. It's starting. You have a what's that called? Structure.
But what's the practical applications of this Kol Koide? Make shalom. What's the
It also has to be making a declaration and signing. There's nothing compelling over here that's like someone is signing towards. When there's something over there, that there has to be something that's very compelling. I'm signing because I call for this. So it's a little bit vague and a little bit too abstract. That's what I feel.
So everyone tells the other guy to make shalom.
Yeah.
Like they say, everyone's entitled to my opinion.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, I'm saying this is. I think this is good, but I think if we get the younger man, everything's going to start moving, especially if we have already people committed to funding, whether it's this petition or shear or general shear for Anash once a month, open, getting speakers, paying, whatever it is. This is this person's job. and it's paid, and it's not volunteer, and it's full-time. So whatever money we have to designate X amount for salary, X amount for activity. Because you don't want anything volunteer, pay speakers or pay someone to write a weekly sheet, whatever it is. The person should have some, spending ability, and so let's do it. I think that should be the achlot of the week. So who was in touch? Who was in touch with the?
It was Sandy, Yehuda Levin, maybe Zusha. That's where the real back and forth was going.
So I'll make a special request of them to listen to this, and then we'll get some ideas from that. We'll know where to move.
Yeah. In other words, I think that has to be the first thing. If by next week we come back and say the Gula's here, and we have a younger man that's hired, and that person commits to to be part of the call to hear and just to update. This was the achlata of the thing. So where's it progressing? What are we doing? And he could also help. In turn, he'll turn around to us and say, how can you help me further this project that we all agreed to work on, etc., etc. It'll be very different. You need always somebody that's meshugel oiseh dover. Even this call, if Mandy Roomfield didn't send out every week and did it, it could easily fall away. I mean, I'm shocked that it's even still going on. I'm just saying it takes a certain akshonos in a good way. There was Amksher from Maliyusa, but if you're not meshugel oiseh dover, any project doesn't have someone that's not meshugel oiseh dover, falls apart. Okay.
That's a yeah.
So Mendel, you'll reach out to them.
Yeah, I'm simply going to ask them to please watch today's recording, so they understand instead of me repeating it. It's better that way.
Okay.
And then
But you have to tell them what. Okay, I'll leave that to you.
hold on one second.